There was a situation that I covered a while back about a VTuber, and they're involved in another situation now. This is messy. Let's break this down. So, this whole drama is between a VTuber by the name of Finnya, who this is the rough sheet on the right, and a VTuber who has not debuted yet by the name of Squishy. And here we have a document about this made by two Twitter users by the name of Makoto T Arts and Amalthea Lin on Twitter, if I said their name right. Also, this whole drama involves a third person by the name of Konami, who is the person that actually bought that design for Squishy. The doc reads, Konami bought the design for their friend Squishy and helped make art, changing some aspects like adding a swimsuit. Squishy was then informed it looked similar to Finnya and decided to message Finnya. Note, we do not have a screenshot of who told Squishy they look like Finnya in the first place. Finnya then proceeded to create Twitter drama and make a thread over it instead of keeping it to DMs. So far, Squishy has not said much other than some posts, but Konami has been the one interacting on behalf of their friend. The allegation that Finnya has stated that Squishy and Konami are the same person has no merit to it. The only proof she has is that their bios are similar. Finnya also claims it was ragebait and she fell for it. Finnya also says multiple times that Konami and Squishy have planned this from the start with no proof, saying it in response to the DMs Squishy sent her. The first comment led by Finnya before the chaos. So the post was deleted, but it was apparently the design, and Finnya comments, that design looks very familiar, ... Oh, and by the way, some people might be curious about what drama Finnya was in prior because I made a video about it. I'll have a link down below in the comment section. So it is this video, and the video is titled VTuber accused of copying commission they didn't order. It's an extremely messy situation between an artist and Finnya. The gist of it was somebody was getting a design for Finnya, so there are some parallels to what's happening here, and they were shopping around with a bunch of artists. Some artists made some sketches, and then the artist involved in the drama made a sketch for Finnya, and then Finya's final design came out, whatever, and then the artist was like, wait, your design looks really similar to my sketch. You copied me. Finnya says they didn't copy because they actually had no idea that commission was happening because it was done on behalf of them through a friend or a brother, I think it was one or the other, and they didn't know about it. So it was a whole back and forth drama, but basically Finnya got drunk and then crashed out on Twitter, and it was wild. So nobody sided with them because they were crashing out on Twitter. And then later people were like, wait, like you kind of maybe have some merit here. This is again, some sentiments on the internet, right? But people were feeling like, oh, maybe you have some merit because you didn't know that this was a commission that was happening. It was a really messy thing, but I just think it's an interesting thing to point out because Finnya themselves were actually in a similar scenario where we had somebody who was commissioning a model on their behalf. So there's that. But the document continues, OG design artist. So the OG design artist is credited to Mia Mandud. I am so sorry. I am so bad with names. But the design looks really, really cute. It's kind of like a long-haired seal design where there's also a seal hat option as well. They have some body markings, some ribbons around the legs. And the doc reads, note this design has both pink and gray color palettes. The gray is more saturated and has purple tones, yes, but it's still gray. So statement, this is a screenshot of the original artist of the design commenting on Konami's redesign, letting Squishy know what they think. So the artist says, oh, I don't really have a say on this, but I just wanted to be aware with you that your design kind of resembles Finya's. So please be careful. Please just credit me as a design artist using my OG design. I would really appreciate it. The doc adds, this tab is Konami's side, the post she made leading up to the public crash out of Finnya. So we can see the post on Konami's page and it reads, some sad news today. I've been helping a very dear friend to get started as a new VTuber as I am unfortunately taking a step back from everything due to life's issues and stresses. My friend called me crying and let me know that they will not be moving forward with their current design and will be looking for new options. I purchased this amazing design for them and helped to make some adorable art, and it's honestly really sad for me that they won't be able to use her, and they didn't tell me why. Long story short, since they're just starting out and have barely any followers, I'll be helping them sell the design to get a bit of money back from what they've spent. I'll need to post this as an image due to a character limit. I'll be posting the design shortly. And then the design was uploaded. This post was later deleted, but it reads, here's the design and all of her art and credits. Swimsuit outfit was a collab between Squishy and I. Everything seen here, including animated screens, can be used for starting, ending banners, etc. is $250. Payment plans accepted will be posted on my coffee here as well. Please share. So they show a whole bunch of art, and in the center is the swimsuit design, which is an alternate outfit. It wasn't the original design made by Mia Man. But here you can see there's an animated starting soon screen and some additional assets as well, including a logo. And they add original design by Mia Manda typo. And then this is the next post made by Konami writing, all right, I'm tired of seeing quote retweets stating, quote, that's literally Finnya, end quote. The similarities end at the color scheme. Yes, they both have bodysuits, not an uncommon outfit at all. Can you point out any other similarities or or are we going to continue to be childish and start drama? So here are the side-by-sides that we can see between the two designs. There are some similarities, right? They both have long hair. They both feature pink and gray as their predominant color palette. They both are sea creature VTubers. So Finnya being what looks to be a shark and Squishy being a seal. And they both are wearing a bodysuit. Although Finya's looks more like a swimsuit, and this one looks more just like a bodysuit, and they both have body markings. And there are some differences. So with Finnya, if we look at, I guess, the bare bones design of the swimsuits, it's just a swimsuit with a tail and like a little wrap around the leg. Whereas with Squishy's design, they have these long sleeves as well. They have stockings that go up to their calves with paw feet. They don't have like regular feet, and they have leg ribbons. This one is a 50-50 because the internet was really debated as to whether this design was crossing the line or whether it was okay. So here in the comments, we have BBQ writing, "It's too on the nose. Also, this seems like a blatant attempt to get negative clout trying to grow. It's not childish, it's branding." Konami adds, "If the design had a different color scheme, people would have nothing to say, but I guess VTuber Twitter is bored. My friend is a sweetheart and does not know enough about the community to need to farm clout. And personally, I don't care as I'm not even streaming actively. Try again." And B adds, "As a character designer, I really can't agree with you. If you squint, they're almost identical. It needs to be taken back to the drawing board." And Konami adds, "Well, it's not necessary to agree with me, that's life. You aren't going to always have the same opinions as others, and that's fine. But when an issue has nothing to do with you and people start dogpiling, maybe it's time to keep your opinions to yourself." Then here on the other side, we have Cat writing, same name, "People really be out here like, quote, I'm the only gray and pink C-tuber allowed, end quote, my good gods." And Konami says, "For real." And then Michael adds, "Nah, I know Finnya ain't trying to do that when she was in drama because she looked like Shy Lily. Expect she looks more like Shy Lily than this design looks like Finnya." Personally, I'm curious as to what you guys think. Again, please be respectful when you leave your 2 cents. But the whole VTuber copying thing has been debated in the VTuber community since like the beginning of time, essentially. Copying accusations are slung left, right, and center in the VTuber community. It's most definitely like frustrating if you're getting accused of something that you didn't do, or somebody is copying you and you feel like you're going crazy. I can see it from both sides. There has been a trend in the VTuber community of people being heavily inspired by big VTubers. Shy Lily is one of them. Again, Shy Lily didn't do anything wrong. She's just existing. But I feel like because Shy Lily exists, then a lot of people have drawn inspiration from Shy Lily, which is natural. You draw inspiration from people. But what's going to happen is if a whole bunch of people draw inspiration from the same VTuber and they all want to be sea creature VTubers, which is chill. Sharks are like one of my favorite animals. I totally get it. You're going to run into the issue where there's only so many permutations you can do of sea creature plus colors plus generic VTuber hair before you end up with designs that look similar. It's generic because it's popular and people like it, right? I like the V-shaped bangs and the side sweep here. I literally have that in my own hair half the time, right? The V-shaped bangs, the side sweep, the short like Hime cut bangs going on. That's just very popular hair amongst VTubers. I feel like every other VTuber has a haircut like this with long hair. And then amongst those VTubers with a long hair, probably every other one is pink, which is totally fair too. Pink is a great color. But my point stands that there's only so many combinations you can do before you're going to eventually roll a combination that looks similar to somebody else. Now, when that does happen, and again, we're debating, is it similar, is it not, right? I would say they do have a similar essence, these two VTubers. They're not the same, right? There are a fair amount of differences with the knees, whatever. And this is, again, a swimsuit outfit. This isn't even the like original or like the full design. It is what it is. The reason why I say it's similar is because there was a situation in the past that happened between a VTuber by the name of Powder, who is a white-haired, purple-horned demon VTuber, and there was another person who was also a VTuber, who was also a white-haired, purple-horned demon VTuber. Their design was a little bit different. Like Powder has a lip ring, and then the other VTuber had a purple streak through their hair, and then Powder accused them of copying them. They said that they didn't copy, da-da-da-da-da. It was a whole mess. That situation reads really similar to this situation. And the thing that I'm just gonna say, and I think I've already iterated it, if you have a simpler design, and simple doesn't mean bad, so don't take it that way, right? But sea creature with tail in a swimsuit, there's only so much you can do before there's gonna be some similarities. Demon VTuber with white hair and horns, only so many things you can do before there's gonna be somebody that looks kind of like you. If your design just has more like simple branding, it will happen. If you are making a design and people are genuinely mistaking you for somebody else, not because they're being weird, there's always the whole, you look like Iron Mouse and they just happen to be pink and purple and there's literally no similarities. But if a fair amount of people are mistaking you, maybe that's a sign that you might want to change a little bit. It is a really, really hot debate. And I'm just curious about your thoughts on this one. Then Konami makes a post a couple hours later writing, "Y'all, I'm done. LOL. Finnya, you're being incredibly weird about things and now trying to say my friends and I are the same person. Y'all really need to touch grass if you believe that weird shit. I'm a grown woman and have no space in life for all of this. I'm done." And they have a doc that they attach a photo that reads, "Y'all, I have so much to say, LMAO, and I do not care at this point because I'm taking a step back from everything and I'm not going to keep up some sort of image to save face. I don't need to. I have 2 jobs and a life outside of the internet to live. Yes, the designs are similar in color scheme and they both are sea creatures. It starts becoming an issue when people take time out of their day to talk down about the design and make multiple negative quote retweets, as well as Finnya posting sarcastically about it herself, knowing she has a huge following and they will all just bum rush over here to spread the negativity and hate. My friend is a kind and sweet person who is having a really hard time over this and never wanted to upset anyone. She reached out to Finnya out of good faith to let her know that it was not my friend's intention to copy her design. Although, yes, they are similar at glance. I worked with my friend to make certain design differences in order to achieve something they were happy with. The gray and pink schemes come from the original design, as does the seal hood. The OG design is a sketch without a lot of visible detail, so she wanted to refine it into a simple but cute design to use, which we thought we achieved. The entire drama happening is very unnecessary, and genuinely, some of you need to mind your own business and move on if it has nothing to do with you. If you don't want to purchase the design, feel free not to. Just keep the negativity to yourself, as I am truly not interested in engaging more with it." And then Konami adds, "If anyone is interested in purchasing the original design without the swimsuit outfit that is now causing lots of drama for some reason, she is listed here for $150. Then she was claimed. And Konami adds, "The original design has been claimed, so I will be removing it along with the swimsuit design from my coffee, as the OG design is what the swimsuit outfit is based on. Thank you to all who provided kind words, positive energy, and support." Then Konami adds, "Alright, I deleted the last post as I suddenly started getting a large influx of hate messages. Finnya, keep your community in check. I don't know a single person who would want their community members to say some of the vile, mean things to anyone. I just had to see in my DMs." And then here are some of the posts that Finnya has made. So in response to some of the artwork, etc., they showed, "Chat, I think I have a twin sister," and that was for the deleted post, the one showcasing the design that was being sold with the artwork. And Finnya adds, "I know this is a sensitive topic within the VTuber community. I have been accused of copying as well in the past. Inspiration is 100% okay. I took inspiration from Gargura and Shy Lily myself, but please don't look like somebody else's OC that just has a different outfit on." And then here Azzy writes, "Not gonna lie, I thought you were selling your model and rebranding. The seller posted saying they bought their friend's brand to help them, so I'm not sure if they're aware. The similarity is definitely uncanny." And Finnya writes, "Nah, never selling my baby. The seller is the same person as the VTuber. It's a bit uncanny they know about it. Reached out to me asking if I'm okay with it. When I said no, they made some sad posts and made this post to try to sell it." And here Night Sentinel comments, "I don't want to start something, but that looks just like you. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe not, but it's definitely confusing." And Finnya writes, "It could have been a coincidence, but I don't think so. The person DM'd me directly saying they made a new design and people said it looks like mine and asked me if I'm comfortable with it. I said I wasn't, and they made some sad posts, then a sale of the model post. The original design of them was gorgeous though, and they should sell that one as it was." So then right around when Konami was making those posts, Finnya writes this post on their page writing, "Finnya VT drama again, sorry. This is me basically asking for your help and advice. Yeah, say it. I'm a big dum-dum that says stupid shit sometimes and word it poorly, so it backfires. I learned from this and don't have opinions anymore ever, and always fall for drama bait over and over again and react to it when somebody tries to start it, because I feel scared and anxious when it happens. When it happens, I get confused and want to clear things as fast as I can, whether or not that means to defend myself because I'm scared to be disliked. Though I'm realizing not everyone has to like me, it's okay to be disliked. I've never really had friends before and grew up under unfortunate circumstances. Me coming to the VTuber community is my first time ever just interacting with people, and God, I dare to admit I'm awful at it sometimes. I'm definitely making a lot of mistakes, but I'm willing to learn from them. I know I don't always immediately acknowledge them either, which is something I have worked on too. Sometimes I don't dare to acknowledge, not because I don't want to admit I'm wrong, but because I'm scared that even if I acknowledge it, it won't change anything, and people will still be mean anyways. So I talk myself into just ignore it all, which I have also learned from that is not always the best. When it comes to rage bait, somebody tried to drama bait me again, and I always fall for it. And I know I react wrong to it. I know it happened today, and I reacted wrong. Probably. I know I've been called out rightfully for reacting wrong on so many things, and a lot of you are right that sometimes some things shouldn't be done or said, and I take notes each time to learn. I'm learning, but man, it's hard. It's been a heavy curve, but with it all, I'm quite proud of where I am now and how far I've gotten. Please know I'm genuinely trying to be a positive part of the community, and I know that will be hard to achieve because of previous mistakes that were made, and people are very quick to judge once they have a bad taste in their mouth about you or disagree with you. I'll keep continuing to do my best so I can do better and earn your trust of everyone. I know I'm a nice person and those who try to get to know me know this too, but I know this is an online space and people judge you based on what they hear about you or see about you. It's way easier to agree with the public eye when somebody is being called out. A lot of people join in on disliking that person and will remember their name and forward the tales. If you would be so kind to give me an actual real chance, it would mean the world to me. I finally started streaming and I've been having so much fun with it. I finally feel like this is real. My community is real and I'm actually making friends. If you have advice for me, don't worry about sounding rude. You can tell me. I know not many will read till here, but I wanted to pour my heart out to everyone. I'm not perfect, far from it even, but I'm trying really hard to earn a tiny space in this big community, and I hope I can earn it one day. Please don't hesitate on giving me advice or pointing me to my mistakes. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And Labtic writes, this seems like you need an advisor of some sort, but more like medieval jester. King's advisor whose job was to advise the king while being mistaken for just joking around by others. Finnya says, I do. I grab bait easily, and people know that together with knowing the majority of the community is already biased against me, so will not even hear me out or look at my side. Advisor for need. I mean, we are derailing a little bit from the topic here, but personally for me, if things like this happen, my advice generally is don't make tweets and just sit on it. You know, like if you have a tweet you want to post, write it out, get the emotions out, put it in your drafts, don't actually hit post, and then sit and think about it. Like if there is a design that comes up that you feel looks similar to your design, you're entitled to feel the way you feel, to feel uncomfortable, or to feel like, oh, you know, I'd feel some type of way. If somebody DM'd you with a design and was like, this looks similar to you, you are entitled to feel a little uncomfortable about it, etc. But you do also have to recognize that if you do take it public, it is going a little bit nuclear about things. And if you are a bigger creator, there is situations where people will look at you and feel like you're bullying a smaller creator. Now, this is not to say that bigger creators cannot feel uncomfortable from smaller creators, right? That is very true. But you just have to recognize this is how the public will perceive it. And if you do go on your Twitter page and make little like sarcastic posts, you know, we do have this one chat, I think, of a twin sister 16 hours ago. You're posting about a VTuber that hasn't debuted with like, I think the VTuber had like 100 followers, and you have the amount of followers you have. People are gonna read this some type of way. They're gonna feel like you are a bit petty. Like, again, it just sucks. It's unfair that you, as a bigger creator, you can't just say whatever you want because people will take it a certain way, whereas smaller creators would be able to do that and get away. It unfortunately just comes with the territory of having more followers. And then there's a whole bunch of posts that were all deleted, but thankfully, because of this doc, we got the screenshots. So in response, going back to Konami and this post about getting an influx of hate, asking Finnya to keep their community in check, Finnya writes, sorry, but you're a horrible person for setting this entire drama bait up on purpose, immediately playing victim, blaming me, saying you're crying, and continuously manipulating me by bringing up old drama and saying things like this. This is wrong. This overall post of you is very condescending and overall manipulating. I know I'm a frowned upon VTuber, but things like this I just don't deserve. And Konami writes, genuinely, what is going on? Why are you still making manipulative posts about me when the issue has been resolved and the OG design has been sold and the swimsuit design has been scrapped? When will it be enough for you? Leave us alone, thanks. So again, we have this big post from Finnya that I read to you, and Konami screenshots it and then writes, and I'm the manipulative one, huh? So then Finnya puts out a thread today at 10 a.m. in the morning, writing, I don't like drama, especially not the VTuber copies, as I know firsthand how much of an impact that can have and how sensitive that topic is within the VTuber community. First of all, Konami and her friend are the same person. Both have a very oddly similar bio and profile layout. Both claim to have designed this OC as well. Well, one claims they made it and the other claims they made it together. So here Squishy says, this is their bio, 18 plus, debuting soon, come nap in the water with me, profile credits, banner credits, design credits, swimsuit outfit by me, and then Konami, debut in May, banner, slushy comes. Okay, like on one hand, I can get that, okay, maybe if the bio looks similar, but I'm gonna be for real, I feel like half of the VTubers on Twitter have a bio that looks like this. It's just like a bunch of keywords with a bunch of emojis in between. And I feel like it's also not a far stretch to think that if they are friends, right? Because they are Konami and Squishy, that Konami probably coached Squishy a bit, being like, oh, you should put this in your bio. You should probably put these like keywords in your bio. Oh, you should put these emojis because they're like related to seals, you know? So here Konami says the swimsuit outfit was a collab between Squishy and I. I feel like it's not a bit of a stretch to assume that Squishy would credit themselves as the design because they were one of the people that made it. And again, oh my god, Squishy has 14 followers. Oh, that does make the call out even worse. Again, Squishy is brand new to the VTuber sphere. They probably don't know that, you know, like, oh, it could help if they credited Konami as well, but they're friends. We don't know the conversation that happened. Maybe Konami said, oh, you don't need to credit me, you know, like you just credit yourself, etc. And I feel like for me, this is not substantial enough proof to indicate they're the same person. We covered a situation prior on my channel where like there was a VTuber who sold a design to a friend, right? And then there was like some AI usage, whatever. But there was accusations that the friend and the VTuber were the same person. And the proof was the fact that the VTuber's Reddit account all had the old design, the design that supposedly belonged to this friend, but that design was on the main VTuber's Reddit. So then they were like, wait, why do you have their profile photo? You're posting model reveals as if you are them, but you're supposed to be a separate person. See, that would be substantial proof. To me, similar bio is not enough. So Finnya continues, yesterday I was DM'd by the profile Squishy Sealy. When I saw the profile photo, I was confused because I thought that was me. They said somebody pointed out their designs are similar to mine and asked if I was comfortable with it, which I'm not, but I didn't want to make it public. So this is the DM from Squishy to Finnya, where Squishy writes, hi Finnya, I just wanted to reach out to you if that's okay and let you know that somebody told me recently that my design resembled yours. I just needed to bring it up and make sure you were comfortable with everything, as I am very much in love with my design, and I even made a few changes to make it look different after they told me. I apologize for the random message lol, I just wouldn't feel right without saying something. I know there's always going to be a lot of overlap with VTuber designs and color schemes. I definitely do not want to make anyone uncomfortable. I just wanted to let you know that it was in no way at all in my intention to copy or resemble your design. And Finny responds, hey there, thanks for reaching out to me. It's true that there's always going to be an overlap in VTuber designs, but when it comes to the point that you see the image and you're not sure which character it is, it comes too close. We have nearly everything one-to-one outside of the clothing itself. I'll be honest, when I saw your message, I thought it was my OC. We both have the same hair, same mark, same kind of hat, same exact color palette. Maybe it wasn't your intention, but bringing it out to me made me feel a bit uneasy. And the fact you only just started and have, I guess, maybe 14 followers makes me feel like you know that too. It just looks like me in a different outfit, if that makes sense. And they send a photo of their profile and then a photo of themselves. And yeah, like I can't agree. It does look similar. And Finnya adds, this all felt odd, so I decided to post a screenshot of their profile photo in my server to see what people would say. And just as I thought, at first sight, they all thought it was me. I didn't know how to react, so I said it made me uncomfy and said they should do what they want. So here, Finnya writes, though, I don't know what you want me to say on it. You're not going to change your design, and probably more wanted to make the statement of it and make it be known that we look the same. I already have been in drama for similarities, and I don't want to go through it again. So in the end, do what you want. Then they add, posted your profile photo on the server and everyone thinks it's me. So yeah. Then Finnya adds, the fact they reached out to me days after posting the design and having such a small following kind of shows they knew what they were doing and wanted to control the situation by showing me the design themselves before me or anyone else would have found it. Well, I would say, okay, throwing in my personal 2 cents here, that's actually the better thing, no? Like if you have a design and you just started and somebody comes to you and was like, hey, you look a lot like this bigger VTuber, and then you take a look and you're like, oh shit. And then you're like, oh, what do I do? Okay, let me DM them just to try to clear the air to make sure everything's good because I haven't even started yet. So I just want to start on the good foot, you know? I feel like it's worse if you knew you didn't address anything and you just started like doing your thing, you know? I guess maybe each to their own. Maybe Finnya would prefer if they just started doing their own thing, I guess, and not contact them at all. But I'm curious about your thoughts. If you were in a situation like this, I wouldn't really know how I would act. I've never been in a situation like that. I'm not a VTuber, I'm a flesh tuber. And Finnya adds, before I knew the design was on sale, why would you step away from a design because you acknowledge it's a near copy of another VTuber and then sell it? So this is the screenshot of the sale. I mean, again, for me, I'm just a little bit confused as to what Finnya wanted. I mean, obviously, I guess for Finnya, the ideal scenario was like for this to not happen at all, as in like the design to not appear. But I mean, if there is a design and you feel it looks very similar to your design, right? And you know, you're in a position where you feel like you can't really say anything because you've already been in some hot water. You don't really want to restart this. So you say, do whatever you want. They think on it and they're like, oh, you know, I don't feel comfortable using the design anymore. And they sell it. I mean, wasn't that the second best scenario? I mean, we can't like undo the design. So now the next best scenario is they're not using it, right? They sold it. They got rid of it. And they even scrapped the swimsuit model, the swimsuit design, which was the one that Finnya was uncomfortable with because Finnya had stated they were fine with the original design, not with the reworked swimsuit outfit. So the swimsuit outfit was scrapped. I want to be empathetic and understand that, you know, you feel uncomfortable with somebody that people have mistaken for being you. But I feel like this scenario was handled as best as it could have been handled, in my opinion, right? Like the conclusion is they're not streaming with the design anymore. There's no VTuber with this design. And they add, so Finnya continues, besides that, the guilt-tripping saying, I'm making you sad and cry about our interaction, speaking of yourself as a second person and gaslight me is not doing it, girly. So this was Konami's post, I guess talking about the friend calling because they're crying. Squishy writes, VTuber Twitter is so hard for me to understand. I don't want to start any drama with anyone before I even started streaming. I just want to cry, but I'll be reinventing myself soon with a new design. Stay tuned. Konami had quote retweeted the twin sister post writing, this is just unnecessary. I talked things over with Squishy and she knows her design is similar and that is why she's uncomfortable using it. She does not wish to cause any problems with anyone, so can people stop trying to create an issue here? And then Konami also adds, why are you sending this to my friend Finnya? She is literally in tears over this. She reached out to you in order to not create any drama and this is how you respond. After she chooses to find a new design because you were uncomfortable, as well as making passive-aggressive posts. And Finnya concludes, I've been accused of copying too. As I said, I know it's not taken lightly, but I'm not an artist and I know copying is bad. You are an artist and you should know better. Please do better. It's not a good look. No one will buy a stolen design. I know I've had my fair share of public drama, which I've learned from my mistakes and apologized. However, the way this artist knows about the dramas around me but seems to be unknowing of my design and seemed to make something eerily similar to me and even reached out to me about it and is now playing it off as if I'm making drama again. Kind of makes me believe this is all bait. Quote, I just thought she would be the bigger person here, end quote, says it all. This confirms that it was drama and rage bait set up from them. Won't be giving them attention anymore, but this is just sad. I know some of you will immediately say, quote, oh, it's Finny again, end quote, which was their whole goal. I do hope some of you can see that since I've grown and learned from my past mistakes a bunch, and that this doesn't have anything to do with my past mistakes. I sometimes don't think about what I say and react wrong in situations in the past and was called out rightfully, which I'm grateful for. It made me realize mistakes and become a better version of myself while I pursue my dreams. So here are some screenshots of Twitter replies where Finnya writes, yeah, the guilt trip of, quote, considering you're apparently gone through the same thing, you should know it, end quote, ain't it? She knew she was copying me. That's why they reached out to me. I told them I'm uncomfortable, so they won't use it, but instead will sell it. Make that make sense. And Konami says nobody is trying to guilt trip you, Finnya. You are not always the victim, so stop acting like it. If she didn't care about making you uncomfortable, she damn well would not have reached out to you. And this is how you choose to react. Ridiculous. Finnya says, wait, who is acting like the victim? Care to rephrase? Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. And Konami says, you're literally being so extra for no reason. Finnya, I'm not arguing with someone who wants to be this immature. And Finnya says, so when you get called out, you dip. Talk about immature. You know about my copying accusation drama and decide to use that to your advantage by rage baiting, then playing victim. So there's all this allegations about the copying drama. Basically, Finnya was accused of copying Shy Lily, which is like literally every CVTuber ever at some point in their career gets accused of this. Because people were like, the hat is the same, the tail is the same, your silhouette to Shy Lily is the same, da-da-da-da-da, and the third. Just my 2 cents, but I personally don't really think saying, oh, if you've gone through the same thing, I hope, you would understand. I mean, I personally didn't interpret that in a bad way, but I'm not in Finya's shoes. I don't know, right? Because it was really a similar situation where people were comparing Finnya to Shy Lily, being like, you copied her hat, you copied her tail. And Finnya was like, no, but I'm a shark. That's why my hat is gray and my tail is gray because and it looks like this because I'm a shark with a hat and a swimsuit. Shy Lily's like that too. And again, this kind of goes back to my point again of like Finnya was really inspired by Shy Lily. You can see a lot of inspiration from Shy Lily in her design with the tail, the hat. Again, Shy Lily doesn't own fish hats, okay, or whatever. Doesn't own a tail, right? So Finnya continues, quote, the friend, end quote, immediately swapped back to the original design while on her main account, the original design is already on sale again, without the outfit based on my design. While they're now trying to swipe it under the rug as it's Finny again, while their comments pile up with things about my past mistakes. She knew what she was doing and it was a stunt with a burner account and I felt incredibly stupid falling for it. I know a lot of you already saw me in a bad light because previous drama and now think worse of me. I took the bait. But if you have any tips of how to not fall for this, please let me know. I feel so stupid, sorry. So here Squishy changed their profile photo banner, writing just a little squish, reinventing myself, stay tuned. And then that's the original design being sold. But yeah, personally from my 2 cents again, about like, I guess, PR management, if you are in a situation like that, because this happens all the time, I would just state that if you don't have like concrete proof, then if you do come out and say things like, oh, they're the same person, and it turns out that it could be false or that there's not enough proof to substantiate, because your opening statement is potentially not true, it's gonna make people not believe the rest of your statements, and the rest of your statements could be true, but then because you open with something that is potentially not true, it's gonna make people feel a certain type of way. Personally, I have a situation with a big company where there's something that I feel like they did that wronged me, but I don't have substantial proof to prove it. So I do know I have not gone public with it. I like hinted at it. The issue is because if I go public and I'm wrong, I'm gonna get called crazy. So that's just something to take into account here. And then I would just also say, like, just understand or figure out like what you want as the conclusion from it. Even though you may want to like air your piece out and say your side, you're entitled to that. Just note that if you do go publicly air your side out and like really say your side and your feelings and like how you feel about, oh, you are manipulative and you are gaslighting, da 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 da, it does also leave room for people to criticize you. And that's again just what happens. If I were the PR manager, I would have deleted all of the little shady tweets and well, I would have told you not to make them in the first place. And then been like, made a little post concluding it being like, the design is now being sold. Don't send hate to any parties involved. That's it. Like one little one to wrap it all up. I hope Squishy can have a good streaming career and I just want to move on past this, wrap it all up. But if you keep like milking it like this, people are just going to see you as somebody who's farming drama because that's essentially what you're doing. If you're continuing to talk about it and like beating a dead horse of a VTuber that has 15 followers. In the document, some replies that Finnya has made were added. So there were some posts about the original design asking, oh, why did you swap the design? Now it looks really, really similar. And I do agree, that the original design looked very unique and that the new design does look relatively similar to Finnya. I personally just try to give benefit of doubt, right? That's just who I am as a person. Some of you guys hate that on my YouTube channel. But, I'm just thinking like if you are a pink and gray VTuber model with gray being your predominant color, the pink is only present in your hair and you want to wear a swimsuit, but you can't really wear a bikini because Twitch will then ban you because you're going to show hips, then like you're kind of really limited as to what you can do. I'm just trying to give benefit of doubt because I try to assume the best in people. So here somebody says, it had appeared before and I thought it was you. It's quite similar. And Finnya says, yeah, I thought it was me too. My design is quite simple and recognizable. Then the doc adds, this section is the replies from Konami showing more context for the harassment she was getting from both Finnya and her followers. There are no replies by Squishy on the topic. She has been very silent since her and Finya's interaction in DMs. So this is a comment made by Finnya writing, you're the artist designer of this character yourself, Squishy. Like you stated yourself, you should know better as an artist, especially as an artist than to copy other designs, especially in the VTubing community. Konami says, huh? I helped create the outfit, yes, and the color scheme was based off of the OG design. Quit being weird. Nobody was trying to copy you intentionally. She literally showed me your entire convo and she even told you it was never her intention to copy. And here we have a post by Twitter user Angel Bites writing, not trying to be mean, but as a person that has sold and designed adoptable so many times, studied color theory and design, I do agree with Finnya on this, that the weird drastic evolution from the OG design to this hyper-specific color palette, limitation of certain things, having the colors, and the overall expression of the design highly resembles Finnya. So much, it's almost impossible to not say they're inspired or copying each other. The original design of this character was very nicely done, but it's strange how it ended up this way. Konami says the original design has been sold and the swimsuit outfit is still owned by Squishy, who is scrapping it. There is no need for further discourse about this, but thank you for your input. And Angel Bite says, oh, okay, I'm sorry, it's just, it did make sense why they would be uncomfortable. Very beautiful original design though. And here we have one in response to Konami talking about deleting the previous post. Terraria writes, it's absolutely batshit insane it had to go that far. I'm sorry you and your friend had to go through that. You were only trying to help them out after all. And Konami says, I'm literally so confused as to why it's gone as far as it has. My friend has been apologizing to me profusely and feels so terrible about what happened. I just wanted to help her out. She most certainly does not deserve this. And here we have another post from a person by the name of Juno writing, hot take. If you have no concept of designing and branding, then you shouldn't be designing characters, models, or a VTuber. Use your imagination and go outside the norm for once, guys, please. And Konami adds, I was literally helping a friend design a swimsuit outfit like she asked. She gave me her ideas and I illustrated them. I'm not an experienced designer and I don't create adopts for that reason. There are clear differences. And then this is Melusine. I think this might be the person that was involved in the drama that I was talking about earlier with Finnya, with that like adopt thing. Where Melusine says, these types of people are ride or die to this creator and will not see sense despite the same outcome happening over and over. Genuinely so sorry you got caught in the crossfire too. Konami says, thank you very much. I hate to be caught in the middle too, as all of this was very unnecessary on her part. Then, this document has a statement from Squishy, where it reads, we had reached out to Squishy to get her statement on Finya's claims. Here's her response. It reads, hey Squishy, so sorry to be seeing everything that's happening with Finnya, and I hope you're doing well. Me and my friend Mako are making a Google Doc about the situation and have shared it with me. We were hoping to get a statement from you, and if you have anything you would like to share and or more info, we might not have. So they added the photo, which was the message they sent Finnya. We've already read this one. And they add, oh my gosh, that makes me kind of nervous, but I can make a small statement if it helps. Here's my first message to Finnya. I reached out to her because I saw a few comments about my design looking like her, and I thought it was the right thing to do, to let her know that while our designs are similar, it was not my intention to copy her at all. Before she started making posts about it, which I have seen her do in the past, so I was scared. I asked her a few things changed to look less like Finya's design, and the original design was a little messy and sketchy, so I wanted a clean and simple design only to be derivative. I don't know how to spell that. Of the original design I got from Konami, she purchased for me. Konami even helped me to change the details details of the swimsuit version of the design to be more unique. She then messaged me back and was a little bit angry, or maybe I was misinterpreting it, but made me even more nervous, so I didn't respond. We'll post her response below. After that, I did not message her or say anything about it because I saw how much craziness was happening with Konami, and I was very nervous with the whole thing. Especially how Finnya was trying to make it seem like Konami and me were doing this on purpose, which still confuses me a lot because it doesn't make sense. All in all, Finnya told me she was uncomfortable and I decided not to use the design due to her huge following, and I got scared she would come after me, but she ended up going after Konami instead. So attached is the photo from Finnya, or the messages. Another post is mentioning the bangs being identical. For me, I am so 50-50 on this personally, because on one hand, it does look similar, straight up. On the other hand, I mean, again, there's only so many permutations you can do about a Vtuber. And then the messages were asking for permission to add it to the doc, and they also added, also, Finnya was claiming you and Konami were the same person with no evidence at all. We wanted your opinion on that claim. And Squishy says, sure, this is from the original design artist. Konami showed her the swimsuit outfit she helped me with, and she said this. But then I had Konami change some details after that. I think there was another comment or two when I first posted my reference sheet on my page, but I can't find them now. Also, I saw that and it made me feel really uncomfortable. I think it's weird and I don't know how she got that idea. I did have the same kind of format to Konami's About Me in her profile first, only because I've never been on the site and I didn't know how to set things up. So I did copy Konami's a bit. That's the only reason I saw why she would think that. And then Konami has put out a final post about 7 hours ago, writing, my initial post was only to help my friend sell her design. I don't know how so much backlash ended up on my shoulders, but I'm done defending the design when I never owed it to anyone. It was unnecessary to go this far and blow up. Move on and focus on yourselves. I'm so over this. And here's the photo. It reads, all right, final statement. I'm tired of seeing the same comments over and over. 1. I genuinely do not care about farming, drama, or followers. Yes, I was going to have a debut next month. A couple of weeks ago, I chose to step back due to life events and a large amount of stress, as well as not having time with 2 IRL jobs. I was having a live 2D model made and previously have communicated with the artist that I'm struggling with things and will be stepping back for now. 2. I don't need the drama and I don't care about it. I want to be left alone. I don't know how that isn't obvious. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing all the dogpiling happening to people who don't deserve it. 3. I was only trying to help a friend, which has now backfired. And where was I mean or hateful to Finnya? Nowhere. Although she has been towards me and was spreading lies for some reason, acting like this whole thing was an attack on her, which is insane. 4. Though the design may be inspired, it's not identical like a lot of you claim. There was an honest attempt to make it different, even when my friend was dead set on a pink and gray color scheme and bodysuit. The design has since been scrapped, so any further arguments or criticism is truly unwarranted. 5. It was live time deleted as I was reading it. Thankfully, the doc has a screenshot. I was just trying to read it live off the page so that it's a little crispier, but well, I guess we're going here. Thanks for the doc. 5. Saying this was orchestrated or convenient for me is top tier delusional. Some of you spend your entire lives on Twitter and pick apart every single thing you see to benefit your opinion or views. Not everyone is on here to rage bait as you so claim. I have a life outside online that I am very busy with, which is why I am no longer debuting or streaming. Please get a life or some hobbies and mind your own business. This never had anything to do with anyone besides my friend and I until Finnya made it all about her, which it is not and never was. That being said, I offer no apologies because I have done nothing wrong. I do not care if you do not agree. That's life and that's being an adult. I will be moving on from this and I encourage everyone else to as well. I never wanted attention. I was never seeking drama, clout, or whatever you have convinced yourself of. Move on and focus on something positive rather than pointing fingers at me needlessly. The document's next section contains a claim about Finya's mod being problematic and inappropriate. It's alleged, so I'm gonna kind of skip that aspect. So the doc also includes some public responses. I'll pick a couple of these because I do think they make some good points here. So here we have Annie A. San adding, respectfully, it's Finnya with extra steps. Sure, there are differences, but it's literally, quote, you can copy, just don't make it obvious, end quote, then proceeds to change like 2 things on the model so you can claim it's different. I can't comprehend how you see these 2 images and refuse to acknowledge that they look damn near identical, aside from very specific changes. Haven't it been pointed out, I would have assumed that it was one of Finya's other clothings. Here we have another person, Nomi, writing, I'm also a character designer, and I don't think these characters look similar enough to warrant this. Literally, the only thing similar is the colors, heaven forbid. If these characters stood side by side in an A pose, the silhouette would be completely different. The final thing to go is, again, going back into this original situation, I'm just curious on you guys' thoughts about this. It's so 50-50 for me personally. I think this whole thing kind of boils down to, do you think it was malintentioned or not? Because you could look at it 2 ways, right? Situation 1, with Konami and Squishy, Konami's friend Squishy wants to be a VTuber, Konami got them a design, and Squishy's like, oh, thank you. I would like a swimsuit outfit. And Konami's like, oh, okay, I'll help you make one. And then Squishy's like, oh, okay, I want this and I want this. And then Konami's like, oh, it looks a little similar to a VTuber that already exists. Let's change some things, you know? Let's add ribbons to the knees. Let's add puffy long sleeves. Let's change some of the aspects of the bodysuit shape, so you know, no ruffles, etc. Let's add paw feet, let's add stockings, you know, like a valiant effort to try to make it look different. Was the effort enough? That's a different debate. You know, situation A, they made the effort to change it, you know, to try to make the design unique, and then people still felt like it looked like Finnya. Maybe somebody DM was like, hey, you still look like this VTuber that exists. And then Squishy was like, oh shit, okay, well, let me like DM the VTuber to see if how they feel about it, you know, because it wasn't my intention to copy. I really made some effort with the sleeves and the ribbons and stuff to try to make it look different. And then Finny's like, yo, I'm uncomfortable with this. And then Squishy's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll sell the design then, because I don't like, if you're uncomfortable with it, I don't want to use it, you know? And it was just, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, you know? Like they had a design well intentionally with good effort, you know? They tried to make it look different, asked if it was okay, was told it was uncomfortable. Then they were like, okay, I'm not going to use it. Oh. And, you know, they're sad posting a little bit because they like the design, but it is what it is. Or you can look at it from the cynical aspect where Konami and Squishy are the same person. Konami decides, hey, I want to make a brand new account. How can I hella rage bait to try to go and farm followers for this account? Okay, I'm gonna buy design that is some sort of sea creature, and then I'm gonna make a new account, and then I'm gonna rework this new account. I'm gonna rework the design so it looks really close to Finnya. Then I'm just gonna pretend I'm another VTuber and then DM Finnya so I can upset her so that she starts posting. You know, so there's like two ways you can look at it, right? I think for me, that's really what it boils down to. Is the design similar? Yeah. Did they have the intention to try to copy, or were they making a good effort to try to make it look different and their effort maybe just didn't reach far enough, right? It is what it is. I'm curious as to how you feel about it. Personally, because I'm somebody that tends to err on the side of optimism, unless you give me a reason to think you're doing it for really malicious reasons, I'm not going to assume that's the reason. And I think whether the design is similar, you can have your decisions, but the end result is, okay, because Finnya was uncomfortable, they scrapped the design and they sold the original design. They scrapped the swimsuit one, which was the one that was uncomfortable. I feel like that's like the best solution. You know, this design is not used anymore. So I do feel like Finnya is valid to feel uncomfortable with seeing design that people are mistaking to be her. But going on, like, making snarky tweets and all of this on Twitter and continuously, like, over and over and over again, going back and forth with the artist publicly, when it's about a VTuber with 14 followers, that is just where, you know, the public perception is gonna go a certain way, where people again are gonna feel like you are just doing a lot. No matter how many followers you have, you're entitled to your feelings. And if you see a VTuber that people are thinking it's you, you're entitled to feel uncomfortable about it. But if you kind of like crash out on Twitter about it, you're gonna look a certain type of way. And I feel like that's something that you just need to recognize if you are somebody with a bigger following. It's unfair, but there is gonna be more pressure on you to act in a more kind of like put together way, because if you do start crashing out, a lot of hate can be sent towards somebody with literally like less followers than you get average comments on your posts. And again, final PR recommendation, okay, is if you do make accusations, you should have substantial proof. You know, if you do accuse them of being the same person, there needs to be substantial proof. Otherwise, again, the rest of what you say won't hold water, because you lose credibility if the first thing that you say in the thread is something that is easily disproven or extremely difficult to prove anyways. Big shout out to Makoto T Arts and Amalthea Lin for the document for grabbing all the screenshots, because they were like lifetime being deleted, which was kind of crazy. Never had that happen before. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. If you do leave your thoughts, let's please be respectful. Don't send hate to any parties involved, because that is not what this whole thing is about, right? That only makes you a crappy person. But yeah, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on VGen. I have art there. Also cooking up some merch. Also, don't forget to check me out on Coffee. I have free resources for streamers and content creators. And I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another one of your videos. Peace.